Okay, welcome back. Now we are going to continue on the discussion on the risk and return for the stocks. Well, just a quick review that we have done all the necessary steps to achieve the analysis for the individual stocks. Well, go from there, we're going to upgrade ourselves into another level, which is going to be the portfolio. Okay, so I'm going to open up the worksheet again. So this time I'm going to open it up directly. I already have here, it's a Coca-Cola and Microsoft stock. I'm going to open it up. Now I have Microsoft and Coca-Cola opened up. Okay. This time I'm going to save it to another worksheet or another Excel file. I'm going to call it portfolio. Go to File, Save a copy. And I'm going to still save it in my OneDrive financial modeling. This time, instead of call it stock, I call it portfolio. Now I'm going to click on Save. Okay. Now you can see that the file name actually changed to portfolio.xlsx. And I'm going to work on this so that I don't really mess up with the original stock analysis. Okay. Now, for this, I'm going to do a couple of interesting things here. Okay. I'm going to add a few more rows on top. So I'm going to add 8 rows on top. So I picked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then I'm going to right click and I'm going to say insert. Now I have 8 new rows. Okay, so on the top of here, I'm going to use those to set up the portfolio. Okay, so what portfolio is really just if we have more than one stocks in our investment. As I mentioned that I actually have both stocks. So for me, actually, I have a portfolio. Okay. So this is hypothetically how much I have for each stock. Okay. And so I have, let me go to the row 3 here. I have both Coca-Cola and Microsoft. Okay. I have both stocks. And I have money invested in those stocks. Oh, so this is going to be so-called dollar that I have. Dollar value for my stocks. I happen to have $2,000 in Coca-Cola. Okay. And $3,000 in Microsoft. So in total, I have $5,000 invested. So to find out the total, I'm going to use the sum function equals sum of Coca-Cola and Microsoft, E3 and E4. Close the parentheses. So total I have 5,000. Okay. However, we know that the finance people like to use percentage. So this is going to be so-called portfolio weight. Okay. The portfolio weight is going to be in percentage. The portfolio weight that I have for Coca-Cola is 40%. How do I know? 2,000 divided by 5,000, that's 40%. So I'm going to put 40% here. And for Microsoft, I have 60%. That's 3,000 divided by 5,000, so that's 60%. And the total course is going to be always 100%. So this time I'm going to use this sum formula again. So the sum function will sum up the weights for Coca-Cola and Microsoft. Okay, give me a second and take care of my dog. Okay, where we were. Okay, so we have 100% money invested in Coca-Cola and Microsoft. Okay. Well, the exercise that we're going to do for today is going to be, well, if 40% and 60% were the portfolio weights for the beginning, now what is going to be so-called a portfolio return? Portfolio return. For my investments, right? So I care about that my investment as a whole was a percentage return that I have obtained, right? Okay, so the formula for the portfolio return is going to be the following. Okay. So the formula for the portfolio return, write it down here. It's going to be a good place. So the portfolio return is so-called weighted average of individual stock returns. Okay, that's a weighted average. Okay, how are we going to do weighted average? Hopefully you remember, right? So the weighted average is going to be the Coca-Cola return, okay, times the Coca-Cola weight. So that's going to be the portion for Coca-Cola. Then we're going to plus the Microsoft return times the Microsoft weight. Okay, so that's going to be how we calculate the portfolio returns. Okay. The important thing here is that this time we're going to use, okay, absolute reference. That means that those percentage or portfolio weights, they are going to stay constant. Okay, so let me show you what do I mean by that. So I'll start to put into the formula again. Go to the formula bar here. I say equal the first stock, Coca-Cola, return times the weight of the first stock, Coca-Cola weight. Like I said, this 40% will never change, so I will make it a so-called absolute reference. How do I do that? I hit F4, okay? After I hit F4, I have dollar in front of F, dollar in front of 3. So those are so-called absolute reference. Okay, so that's taking care of Coca-Cola, and we still have Microsoft to be taken care of. So Microsoft return times Microsoft weight 60%. Once again, the 60% will not really change. I'll hit F4 again. Okay. So I'm going to pause it here for you just to investigate this formula. Okay. Make sure that you understand this formula. All right. Now it's time to move on. Okay. Now I'm going to hit enter here. So this portfolio return is different from Coca-Cola and Microsoft. It should be in between. And we say this is definitely in between, right? Okay. So this is going to be for the day 1. Or for the very last day. We want to figure out all those previous months. So I'm going to double click down. And those are going to give us, if you check all the way down, you're going to give us all the portfolio returns, right? Now you also see this one, the very last one, give us the trouble again. This is a very good time for us to review and reapply the if arrow function. I will go rather quick, but look very carefully. We're going to use if arrow. Use this function again. So the value would be the portfolio return. And if anything goes wrong, we just use 2 double quotation marks, nothing in between, so that we're going to fix this not and value problem. Hit enter. Double click down. Okay. Now you see the not value arrow is gone, right? Okay, so those are going to be the portfolio returns for each month, right? So we have monthly, okay, we had monthly observations, as you remember. So I'm going to highlight this portfolio return here, okay? So make sure that we understand this is going to be for the portfolio return, okay? All right, so I'll give you a moment to think about it, and I'll continue. All right. Here we actually had all those analyses, remember, for the stock returns, okay? And I'm going to make those a little bit special here. So why don't I just insert couple rows? So I picked up G and H, right click, insert. So those are going to be the stock return analysis that we have done. Now we are going to conduct the so-called portfolio analysis. Okay. we can think about the portfolio just as one stock, and this one stock actually is a combination of Coca-Cola and Microsoft. Okay, so I'm going to conduct a portfolio analysis down here. So I'm going to call it portfolio analysis. Okay, and for my portfolio, I also want to know. Okay, same thing here. Monthly return. And if I don't see much, I mean average. Okay. Monthly standard deviations. And this time I'm going to move it across, and I'm going to put the annual return, annual standard deviation. So those are going to be the ones that I want to figure it out. Fortunately, we have done those. So for the monthly return, that's going to be just average. This portfolio returns, okay, from top to the bottom. Don't include the very empty cell. Hit enter. And for the standard deviation, we're going to use stdev.s again. And start to finish without empty cell. Okay. So those are going to be monthly. Okay. And for the annual, we already had the formula before. So for the return, that's going to be the monthly return times 12. So that we're going from months to annual. For the standard deviation, that's going to be monthly standard deviation times Q square root of 12 to get the annual standard deviation. And of course, we also would like to have this so-called return divided by risk. Okay. So this I'm going to just calculate for annual. That's equals this divided by that. Okay. So the number is somewhere in between the Coca-Cola and the Microsoft as expected, right? Okay, so now let me rewind and revise. Okay, so this is going to be risk and return trade-off. This is going to be another risk and return trade-off. Seems like Microsoft still a better investment in terms of return divided by risk measure, right? Okay, the quick summary. Okay, what we have done for this one is, we going forward upgraded from just a single stock to multiple stocks, and those are so-called a portfolio. And then we conduct the analysis on the portfolios. Okay, and then we conclude that we can do almost the same thing here for the portfolio, just as we have done for the stocks. However, the only trick here is going to be we do have the portfolio weights, which are the percentage of the money that we invested in each of the stocks. Okay, So let me stop here. Okay, make sure that you practice, and I'll see you on another video. Okay, that's gonna be dig into more interesting stuff. Okay, so let me stop here.